everybody.
Good morning, Jim.
Well, thank you very much. I appreciate that. Hey, before we get started with the town hall, I just want to make a public service announcement. So far, we have installed or have scheduled roughly 152 residents for Hotwire. And overwhelmingly, it's been a very positive interchange, which is fantastic. However, there's always a however. We still have roughly 50 residents that have not made the appointment to do the conversion. And I'm bringing this up because the deadline, etched in stone, is August 31st. So if you have not scheduled to have the Hotwire installation done, please get with Sean. He'll talk a little more about it later on in the presentation. But get with Sean and let's get it scheduled, because what I don't want to have happen is come September 1st, somebody goes, oh yeah, I forgot. Too late. All right, so please, those of you that are out there, go ahead.
Should, like building reps, maybe knock on doors of people they think may not have?
Listen, building reps, neighbors, friends, foes, I don't care who it is. I just want to make certain that we get them taken care of. Joy?
Why don't you just send notices to those 50
We've
people
done that.
that say, this is your scheduled date, if you don't want it, let me know.
Yeah.
You put it, have them
Oh,
say
there's
no
Sue.
rather than
All right.
say, have them say no rather than wait for them to make an appointment.
Well, we've knocked on doors, we've made phone
No, I'm
calls.
saying, send them the appointment date. Say, this is your appointment date, unless
We
you
can,
tell me no.
we can take a look at that. We can take a look at that, all right? I've also got to be cognizant of Hotwire scheduling, all right? So, and, last time I checked, we're all over the age of 21. So, we need to be responsible. So, but yeah, building reps, any help we can get. I want to make certain that we don't run into a situation come September 1 where we have a number of residents who want it but can't get it. All right, that just isn't right. Okay? All right, that was the public service announcement. All right, and now that Sue's here, we can start. Thank you. All right, I was looking for you to give me my countdown. All right? All right, so as we normally do, we'll get into sales and marketing, which has been very, very active and very successful. Culinary, plant, finance, health and wellness, personal services, lifestyles, IT, and then once we conclude, we'll all stick around and answer any questions you might have. So, without any further ado, no comment.
Good morning, everyone. Okay, so closings, we did 5 closings in July. For August, Linda McLaughlin is closing today. She has yet to pick out her actual apartment, but for your awareness, she will be staying temporarily in B120 while we are looking for her space. We've got some internal transitions happening right now, so there's a potential space coming open that she might really like. Harriet Anderson is closing Friday on F316. Greg Lowenstein and Berna Fitzgibbons, those names are backwards. It's Greg Fitzgibbons and Berna Lowenstein. They're closing on F202. And then Janice McKeague will eventually be moving to C308, but she's closing this week on another apartment as well. So a lot of these are internal transitions. We've got some movement happening that won't necessarily affect occupancy except for our closings. So next August ending occupancy will be 92%. It's hot in here. It could just be me. Events update. September 19th, we have a downsizing event, which has historically been very productive. I don't know if any of you remember your downsizing and move, but it's challenging. And so we're going to equip some folks to get through that process. Our staycations have had a 50+% closing ratio. We've done 19 this year. We've closed 10. A couple of the closings this month just recently did staycations. And I'm expecting a deposit today from the staycation that happened last week. Model apartments haven't changed. Other notes, so Missy and I will be doing the contract refresher. How many of you are interested in that? It's September 2nd. So if you have questions about your contract, what is entitled to you at Village on the Green, particularly where it pertains to transitions to higher levels of living. That's what we'll be going over at 11 o'clock and 2 o'clock on September 2nd. Advertisements. A lot of you have been sharing these with me, but you're asking if I still want them. I always want them. This is how we see what's going on in the market, including a new community coming to downtown Orlando. So if you see newspaper advertisements or people are mailing you to come to their community, if you'll share those with me, I really appreciate that. December 19th at 7 p.m., Village on the Green will be the lead feature spot on Americans Health Front. It is a new show they do in metropolitan areas across the country, so it will air right after ABC News and World Report. We will be the lead spot on that, so I'll share more with you as we go through that process. Senior Chef Showdown, we are very excited to win again this year. That happens October 7th at the UCF Fairwinds Alumni Center. We do have some tickets for residents, and we have 2 tables this year, so we hope for a lot of support there. And we know George is gonna knock it out of the park. We are looking for an outreach coordinator. If you know anyone or know anyone that's interested in working for Village on the Green, we do still have that open position. That is it for sales.
All right, thank you. You know, I just want to reiterate too that, you know, when we talk about staycations, we talk about tours and so forth, the important role that you all, whoops, hold on a minute, Sue's got her hand up.
I want to give a big plug for that contract refresher presentation, and bring sticky notes. Bring your contract and sticky notes, because they talk about really important stuff that your heirs will want to know when you are going to be moving from one to the other, and this helps them know what page and section to look at. So you think, oh, this sounds boring, but it was very, very helpful.
The teachers/professors come out and heard that, all right? But absolutely great point. So anyway, I do want to shout out to all the residents. The reason we have a better than 50% conversion ratio on staycations, part of it's due to what the team does in advance to choreograph their entire stay, but a lot of it is the interaction they have with residents. It is a huge, huge positive. I hear it every single time. When they come here and they stay here and then they leave, it's the residents that they talk about. All right, so I just want to say thank you, because you certainly deserve tremendous credit for allowing us to be at 92% now and ending the year at what, 95%, right? Or 96%. All right. All right, so without further ado, all right, here's Juan with culinary.
Good morning, everyone. We're doing good? Great. All right, so let's talk a little bit about resident satisfaction summary, as we normally do. Last month, we went a little down. We ended up June at 78, and we went down to 74. Again, I want to share something with you tied to this real quickly. And look at this number right here. Can we all see it? We had 10,000 meals plus did in the month of July. Look at the amount of responses we had. Can anybody tell me the percentage
Can't
of?
see it.
Huh?
Can't see
It's
it.
61 responses. If you guys can see it. 10,000 meals, 61 responses. That's 0.007% of you guys letting us know how are we doing. Happy or not? Do we know the Happy or Not program? So we have 3 kiosks around the property. We have one at the Palm Court, one at Heron, one at the Oaks, at Assisted Living, and we have cards on every single table where you could write down any comments about food, about service, or anything that you would like to see different in the dining room. So before I'm done. So the idea is that if we can get as many of those filled out consistently, we would be able to actually have a percentage that would allow us to understand what you guys want, what we're doing great, because we like to hear that as well, and what we would like to do better. All right? I know that when I don't like my meal, I want to make sure that everybody knows about it. But if I did like my meal that one day, let us know. So we as well can continue to do better and be better. Yes, Joy?
There's also an online site, and maybe that can be published in the Green Horizon.
Oh, that's fantastic. Absolutely. Yes. So Happy or Not, it's also online as well. So if you would like to go online and do the same thing you could do at the kiosk, you can do it as well. So just wanted to make sure that we have that notice that, yes, we're going to 74, but I am confident that a lot of you had fantastic experiences with the servers, with the food that are not listed in here. And this is also a tool that sales and marketing could potentially use to bring new residents in here, which would allow for more funds so we could have a better community. All right? So it's all tied together. All right, so just a little bit of what we do. So Palm Court, we did 6,180 meals only on Palm Court alone. At the Oaks, we did 2,388 meals. Heron Club, a little bit over 1,000. Sable, 336. And then 35 outside catering, totaling 10,133 meals from us. We heard you, so some little things.
Hold on a minute. Go back a minute. Go back.
Whoop. Absolutely, yes.
All right, I want to touch on something here, and that is that, you know, people that come in and dine, roughly 6,600 covers, but the to-go 3,000 and the 472, which we actually deliver, just I'm asking, all right, and that is that if there is a time that we are putting these to-goes out, please pick them up when you have designated the time. Stuff that sits out doesn't get any better, okay? All right, so if you would, because I mean, 50% of what we're serving almost are to-goes. Now, what we want to be able to do is eventually get to the point where we can have more people come in and experience dining, all right, in one of the outlets. But please, if you're scheduled for a certain time, pick it up at that time, all right? Thanks.
Thank you very much. And just to add, in the month of July, this 35 caterings, outside caterings, were 35 birthdays that we had in the community. As you guys can remember, in July, almost every single day we had cakes at the restaurant, bought by you, shared by you to everybody. So thank you very much for that. I know I had a piece or two of those cakes, and they were delicious. All right, so the top 3 things that we heard on the Culinary Chat. The take-home boxes. I know that you guys saw some to-go boxes that were a little bit flimsy, black ones. We changed those. We went back to the ones that we had before. They did not hold very well. Heron Club menu. So we did hear some comments about, you know, why can we not have the Heron Club menu at the Palm Court and vice versa. We would like to make sure that we keep both venues separate and to give you guys a full experience in each of the venues. However, at the Heron Club, you can still have the catch of the day, you can still have the all-in-one, and you can still have the daily special that we put together. And I was let know that that is not listed on the Heron Club menu, so some of you did not know. We will make sure that for the new coming menu, that information is listed. So if you do not want to do anything at the Heron Club, or you want to do the all-in-one, or the special, or the catch of the day, you can do it as well. Last but not least, the server training. Some of you had mentioned that some of our new team members might need more training. We're actually doing a revamp of training, not for only the new team members, but for every server that we have, so they are able to better serve you, that they have more experience, more knowledge, and that you don't get information that might not be the right information. Some of them might not know that we have certain items available for those who would like to have a dessert without sugar and not have the same ice cream every single day. We have some other items that we have available that some of the new team members might not know, and sometimes, because they're teenagers, they might get a little confused and might provide the wrong information. So we're working on that as well. So thank you very much for bringing that to our attention. And we're gonna go and share some of the items that we need. So obviously the 4th of July buffet that everybody enjoyed. We also had the Polynesian night, which we got some feedback in regards of everybody not being able to see the show. So we're doing something different. And then we had the Golden Blooms of Summer soir by Sales and Marketing. And then we have the chef tables of July that you'll enjoy. This is some of the birthday celebrations that we had in July, specifically on the 4th of July. Our Polynesian night that some of you celebrated, and some pictures. And I believe that that's pretty much it.
So thank you very much. You know, getting back to, okay, we're gonna do questions afterwards, but go ahead, I'm gonna let you go this.
I want to know whether food trucks are showing up.
No comment. Hey, listen, on the happy or not, it's like anything else. If you are dealing with small survey numbers, it skews everything. So if you can, all right, take the time and fill it out, because I look at it every week, we discuss it. And as we continue to get better and better and better from a culinary experience standpoint, we need that feedback. We've come a long way in the last year. We want to continue making certain that the experience gets better, the quality of the food gets better, all those things. Okay? Please. Now, without any further ado, here is Lenny.
Good morning. First, we're going to talk about the work orders. We're going to go over the progress that maintenance has made in the work orders. Obviously, we still continue to do the non-emergency work orders, Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays. These are personal work orders directed for each apartment and villa. Still call the number, 407-571-5419, which would be Sandy at the desk. She's the one that puts all the work order requests in. And housekeeping is 571-5418. And the reason why this is important is, if you could see, we did 615 work orders in July. These are just work orders. This doesn't count tasks. This is just work orders for residents. And an average of 40.7 hours per work order. The standard for the industry is about 2.5 to 3 days, so we're significantly lower on that. So the maintenance team is doing good at reacting to these work orders, and I think that's because we're controlling between doing them on Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays, so that they're spending that whole day just doing work orders. So you might you call a work order on Monday night, you might not get it done till Wednesday, but it'll still fall under that hours. So 40 hours is pretty good time. I believe when we first started doing this program, we were somewhere in the 3 to 4 to 5 day range. So 40.7 hours is a big, significant improvement. And that is all because when we go through Sandy, this is because we got away from calling the techs directly or seeing them in the hallway and asking them to do a work order. You call Sandy, she controls that, we get these hours down. Projects, obviously we know what's going on. We got some villa roof projects going on. We're probably looking at that, the finish for that, probably sometime between the end of September, beginning of October, we'll be finished with that. We're doing new skylights, and then they're gonna go inside after, if you're in the villa, you know when we go inside after the skylights, we gotta redo the trim after that. And then we're gonna go back and do any wood rot that we found. But the roofs themselves, the shingles, if you've seen them, I think they've come out very well. I think they look, it's a significant upgrade. Not any complaints really, and I believe that the team has done a really good job at cleaning up. Correct. It's very important. One of the most important things we stressed is the cleanup after. We can't leave the trash hanging around. Even though they know they're coming back the next day, it still needs to be cleaned up as they leave every night, and they've done a pretty good job at that. IL roofs are next. So this is gonna be a much harder job. Logistically, we have to put dumpsters in areas that we normally wouldn't put them, because what we don't want, we got away with it with the villas because the villas the roofs don't have nails in them. So they're like foamed down. With these ones, they have nails. So what we don't want is the roofers to carry the stuff all the way down to a dumpster that's on the other side of the property and drop nails all over. So what we're working on now, we got a meeting after this, is to go over the logistics of where we can put these dumpsters so it's a shorter distance to them to bring the tiles, so we're not dropping them all over the place. And it's gonna be very important that you're cautious if you live in these buildings. We're gonna be 3 stories up, that you don't just walk out of your apartment, walk down and pass over a caution sign. We did have this issue we had with the clubhouse. We put caution signs up and cones and everywhere, and residents and team members are lifting up the caution sign and walking under that. We can't have a 25-pound tile coming off of the roof 3 stories down onto you, so we have to be cognizant of that when we do that. And we'll have people out there. It's going to be a big difference than when we do the villas. Safety is big on these apartments. Window replacement, villa windows have been ordered. They're about 6 to 8 weeks. Every one of these windows in these villas is customly made. They're not all the same. So it's about 6 to 8 weeks before those windows show up, and then we'll start putting those windows in. And obviously we'll get that information out before we come to your villa. We won't just show up. And they are energy efficient and UV rated, 99% of the UV blocked. It keeps the heat out. They're much better, same as in the apartment. Same style windows, just smaller. Skylight replacement goes with that. Oh no, it went back. Carport replacement, we're just in the engineering phase of that. That's going to be at the end. That's whatever ties all these roofs in. Once you finish the villa roofs, we finish the IL roofs. We do the windows in the villas. We'll do the carports. The carports is also going to be another logistic problem. We're going to have to park people in other spots that they're not normally in, pull the carports out, and put new carports in. But eventually, it'll all tie in together. Building cladding and ceiling, that's also includes the villas. That's what the end, when we finished all that, before we do the carports, we'll go in and clad the buildings and seal all the water, because I'm sure a lot of you have water penetration, probably think your windows are actually leaking, and it's technically the roofs, and it's the brick that's actually leaking. So we're gonna seal that once we finish with the roofs. That'll take care of all that. Included in that roof is gutters, specifically A building. If you live in A building, you know we have a problem with water getting into the lounges down there. It's just a poor design. It's at the bottom. When we put this new roofs up, we're going to put some gutters around that area so that it diverts the water away from the lounges. So the only way to keep the water from going in the lounge is to keep the water from going to the lounge. Otherwise, we're going to have a bathhouse down there. Skylight replacement, we've already started that as part of the villa roofing, and obviously, the goals are to protect the community assets, improve the resident safety. Safety, you might think, what does a roof have to do with safety? But if you look up on the roof, you probably see some of those tiles, they start sliding. That's pretty dangerous. That was the big thing. The last thing we need is those tiles coming down. We're already past the planning and budgeting underway to prioritization. We're in the scheduling for all this. Okay? Like I said, this is some pictures. That's obviously the villa roofs. Jim had asked me to take some pictures of the roofers. Unfortunately, they weren't there yesterday, so I added some AI roofers in there. That's not them, but it looks like them. That is the clubhouse roof. Those roofs are what's going to go through, those metal roofs is what you're going to see on the buildings and also through the carports, so it all ties together. The only ones that will be shingle are the villa roofs. And then at the end, similar to this is what we already have down there, but we said we're gonna pick some colors. We'll go with the residents and Jim, and we'll decide if we want to add some texture to that to get those to stick out a little bit. I know door color is the big thing. We'll go over that when it gets to that point. That's it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Great job. All right, finance. Dun, dun, dun.
Good morning, everyone. Some of you may know Yamali. She has been here for quite a while. She was in housekeeping. She is now in finance, has been for a while. Her responsibilities are changing a little bit, so you guys might receive calls from her. She's helping me with billing in the independent living, assisted living, and memory care. So if you get calls or you have questions on your billing, you can also reach out to her. Her office is across the street in the Oaks, but she's over here a lot as well. Her number is on the screen, so if you have any questions, you can reach out to her if I'm unavailable for whatever reason. Also, on your bills, I've had a lot of people call me confused with Becky Ryder. Sounds like Becca. It's not me. She does our LPS billing. So if you are using LPS and you have questions on LPS, you can call her and she can help you get those answers. Payment options, as you guys know, we have several different options. You can write a check and put it in the box up by Desiree or outside my office. You can also pay online, and then we also have automatic payments. If you want to sign up for that, you can see me and I can help you get that done. Our monthly reminders for your renter's insurance. This does expire annually, so when you get your update, if you could provide me with a copy of that for your file, that would be greatly appreciated. And then same thing for assignment of rights. I have a lot of you that have done it, and I have still not heard from a lot of you. So this is extremely important when you are no longer at Village on the Green. This is telling me who I'm giving your refund to. Is it a trust? Is it an estate? Is it your daughter? Is it your uncle? If I don't have that information, it puts a lot of work on your family after the fact. So this is planning ahead and getting all of your ducks in a row. This is an overview of July. For skilled nursing, We ended 76,000 above budget. For assisted living, we ended 19. For independent living, 69. For memory care, 3,000. Our operating expenses, we were below a little bit at 204, and our NOM was below a little bit at 41. But, go to the next one. This is our comparison for 2025 through to 2026. So looking at this, we are doing a lot better in 2026 versus 2025. As we all know, the budget for 2026 has not been the best. So this is comparing so you can kind of see where we were at from 2025 to today.
Yes, I'm going to gloat a little bit. All right? When you look at the 2025 numbers, I don't know if everyone realizes this, but we had the highest change in net operating margin, positive change, in the entire company. All right? So if you look at way back in 2024 and you compare year-end 2025, we did better than anybody else in the company. Now, fast forward to 2026, and you do the comparison, all right, you can see this is year-to-date through July. 19,169,000 in 25, or at 19,818,000 in 2026. That's a heck of a revenue jump. Skilled nursing, basically up $250,000. Assisted living was up another roughly $200,000. Independent living, all right, up $1 million or almost $1 million, all right, year to date, year over year. And then you look at memory care, all right, which is basically flat, and then other operating, and there are a lot of different things that go into that. So if you look at your total net margin, $1,401,000 is where we were in year to date through July last year, and we're up to $1,769,000. So the trends are really good, and that's important for all of us because that impacts all of us. All right. To Becca's point, we know that there were misses in the 2026 budget, and that's one reason why we're doing zero-based, line-by-line budgeting for 2027, so it is as accurate as possible, and we don't have these variations. But the headline is, we are healthy, we are growing, 92%, we are growing, and the results are very good. That's the whole team and what they're doing, all right?
Is operating expense, is that total expense or just what is that?
There are a lot of different things that go into that, and that number will change throughout the year.
Is that our total expense?
Yeah, if you look at operating expense, that's the total expense.
Total expense for million.
Yeah, total expense. All right. So next, thank you very much. Health and wellness. Oh, here she comes. Thank you.
Hi, good morning, everybody. So I just wanted to remind everybody that we sent out a letter regarding our private caregivers and our PSP policy compliance. So we have a deadline of September 30th. If you have a private caregiver, they'll just have to complete an application, a handbook, and then also just provide required documents. It's our way of making sure that your caregivers have been vetted coming into the community.
Sorry, I seem to be the hammer today. For those that have a third-party caregiver, the reason we need this information is for the safety of the residents. Plain and simple, all right? There are cases where residents are sued by third-party people that they've hired because they're the employer, all right? Or it may be that somebody has a criminal background that you weren't aware of. And it's a sad thing, but it happens, all right? And so we need to get this information by September 30th, because if we don't have this information by September 30th, that caregiver will not be allowed in our community, all right? Plain and simple, because your safety is far more important than allowing that caregiver in. So if you have not given Pam the information, please do so, all right? It's for, and listen, it's not just for your safety, it's your neighbors too. All right, I'll tell you, at Harper's Edge, we had a caregiver, and I hate to say this, that ended up stealing from neighbors. All right, so You know, it's an important thing. Please, thanks.
Thank you. And yes, you can come to me with any questions, and then you can drop off those documents to Sandy as well.
All right, I'm going to continue updating and educating everyone on basically health center essentials. So this was asked of me from the healthcare committee and some other residents to continue. So last month I focused on call light response time and our staffing ratios. This month I'm going to focus on understanding the admission process. So we are a regulatory, it's a medical facility. And I think sometimes we forget that over there your children will say, I want mom to move in, she's bored. Well, that's okay. But what's physically or medically, what does she need us to monitor? And they're, no, she's great, she's just, so I thought that I would start to the Florida Senior Living Regulatory Essentials. So for skilled nursing, we have two regulatory agencies that oversee us. One is the Centers for Medicare and Medicaid, CMS, that's a federal. And then the state regulatory agency is ACA. Chapter 400 is the requirements for moving into skilled nursing. So you have to have a clinical need to come in that requires 24-hour nursing care to be monitored and supervised by either a registered nurse or a licensed practical nurse. There are 2 or 3 required. The first required is called a PASAR. It's a screening that says there are no significant mental health issues that we need to be aware of, because from that standpoint, we are not equipped with psychiatrists, inpatient 24-hour monitoring. So if you have some type of psychiatric issue that needs acute monitoring, that needs to be done in the hospital setting, not in the health center. We will be reviewing all of your medical. We need a physician's history and physical. We need your most current medication list. We need all of those to review. We will also, from a skilled nursing, review your Medicare coverage if you have a secondary, if you're coming in for skilled rehab. You will also, there is a form called a 3008, which is the state required form. The hospital fills that out. If you're at home and need to transition into the health center on a permanent basis, me and my team, Nessie and Jamie, work with your physician to get that form filled out. And then we are required to give you notice of resident rights, required notices, the ombudsman, so you get a whole 30-page document in regards to all the rights that you have when you live in skilled nursing. That's just the regulatory for skilled. Assisted living, if you are going to transition into assisted living, there is no federal requirements. It's a state regulated healthcare. You need to have what's called an 1823, completed either 60 days before you're admitted into the assisted living and memory care or 30 days after. Here at Village, we like to have that information before, because we need to know how to take care of you. So if you move in without that 1823, that is all the physician's orders. If we wait till afterwards, the nurses and CNAs don't know how to take care of you. We don't know which medications. So we do require at Village on the Green, we do require that up front. You must meet the residency of our license. So we are licensed as a standard assisted living. So if you come in and already require a mechanical lift to get in and out of bed or a chair, you exceed the level of care that we're able to provide. You need to have the standard ALF license. Generally cannot admit or retain a person that's requiring 24-hour nursing supervision. It is an assisted living. So under the regulations, most assisted livings do not have nurses around the clock. We are Village on the Green, we are LifeSpace, so we do have that. that is our benefit and why we are able to provide the care and services. But under that standard license, most do not have a nurse around the clock. And then you will also have an admission agreement for assisted living as well. Memory care is licensed as assisted living, so it's not its own, but it does have its own requirements. It is a regulated part of assisted living. It is in a secured memory care unit. So to live in memory care, you need to have a memory diagnosis that you need to live in memory care. And then you also have all the other the same forms and requirements as the assisted living. So that is all the boring stuff that me and my team make sure that we have in place before you even come through our doors, and we do that behind the scenes. But that's just kind of a peek, the cherry on top of the sundae of all the things that we need before you move in. This is the boring part of your presentation today.
All right, everybody wake up. All right, HR.
Good morning. So our team members of the month, these two for independent living and the health center, they truly just make me smile. And the one for independent living, you all know Miss Angie Moore. She's in the back of the room. So Miss Angie has been here for 34 years. Yes, it is amazing. I'm sure she helped all of you move in. She's made it seamless, and we appreciate everything that you do. You are an integral part of the sales team, and we would not be able to continue to do what we do as a community without Angie. So we thank you for not only 34 years, but also for being our team member of the month. And our team member of the month for the health center is Miss Yamali. She is also here. So Miss Yamali, she's been here since 2023. We're celebrating a couple of things with Miss Yamali. She recently received an award as being the AR turnaround for all of the communities. Out of all of our 16 communities, Miss Yamali was the only one that was recognized for this award. So we are extremely proud of her for making Village on the Green shine. And she is also our team member of the month. She's been in the billing specialist position for about 6-7 months, and she has been phenomenal. I am extremely proud of her and Becca. She's under great leadership, so she's been doing amazing for Village on the Green. Thank you, Ms. Yamali. Okay, so for our anniversaries, under 1 year, we have Jermaine Burgess, Mackenzie Canazario, thank you so much. Alice Bibby, Michelle Burgundy, Abraham Burks, and Rose. For 10 years, we have Gerda. She's our kitchen attendant. 27 years, Walden Bradford. He works over in the Oaks. And then again, Miss Angela Moore, 34 years. Thank you so much for all of your hard work and dedication. And that is it for me.
Good morning. This is a different one. There it is. It's different than the one from the other day. Okay, so some of our trips this month. We are again going to the Orlando Magical Dining. This year we're going back to Fix Prime. I heard raving reviews from last year. If you've never been, it's a set menu, a 3-course meal at the restaurant, and for this one it's only $40, which is great. It's a steakhouse, so it's really a deal. On the 10th of September, we are going to iFly indoor skydiving here on International. It's going to be fun. We get 26 flights. I've already booked the package, and I know all of you are excited to go. I can see your faces. But it's also going to be a party. We get a party room, and we get lunch there, so it'll be fun. On the 13th, Lutheran Towers, we have Heather Thorne and Vivacity. They came here for Mardi Gras and performed on our stage, and they'll be at Lutheran Towers. On the 17th, the Rollins Museum of Art, and then lunch after. On the 20th, we're going to the Orlando Philharmonic Orchestra. And on the 24th, we are going to the Sobo Art Gallery, which is a really neat art gallery here. I think it's Winter Garden. I get all the winters confused. I'm still new to Orlando. So, highlights, we are starting something new. I know we have a lot of wine lovers. So on the 2nd, we're gonna have Wine Down Wednesday, and that will be in the Heron Lounge area. So stop by and wind down. On the 9th, we have 2 different events, a date with the 50s. We're gonna have a sock hop themed dinner and entertainment here in this room. Similar to tonight, La Dolce Vita's tonight, our Italian themed dinner. If you have signed up, the doors open at 4:30 this evening. You can start coming in and getting your food and getting your seats. So be here early. On the 18th, we have, in conjunction with the Oaks, we are working on a fall market. And on the 23rd, the Vegas Saloon, we have our big casino night. Spiritual, you want me to talk? Okay. Mondays at 11, just a reminder, we do have Bible study in the Spiritual Life Center. Currently, we're covering big stories of the Bible. On the 12th at 5 p.m., we have the Rosh Hashanah dinner and program. On the 21st, 5 p.m., we have break fast. And then on the 27th at 2 p.m., I never get this word right. Tell me what it is. Second. Sukkot. Sukkot? Wine and cheese party. So that's what's going on. Let's see.
And now Mr. Technology himself.
Thank you very much. Basically just giving updates on what's happening with Hotwire. And not too sure if it's gonna, there we go. Outdoor constructions to building A through F and villas are complete. You'll see there's no more crews going around, digging up the ground and pulling in the large orange piping that brings the fiber to every one of the villas and to the buildings. And there's a little bit of minor construction left in the Oaks. They need to bring some cables to the common room area TVs, which they're clogging up some of the hallways, but we get them out of there as quick as we can. The next steps for Hotwire are the rest of the one-on-one interviews, setting up times with Hotwire to visit your house and get equipment installed for service to make sure we can move you off of senior TV and onto the new Hotwire service. And again, as Jim had said earlier, as of August 31st, if you do not have an appointment booked, this doesn't mean you have to have the service installed and functioning. We just need you guys to agree that you want Hotwire installed and you make an appointment before the 31st, you'll still get the $42 introductory fee. After August 31st, and Jim has told me this, in September 1st, you're out of luck. You're gonna be paying for the full price of the service. So you got until August 31st to be able to get yourselves an appointment to have this scheduled for have the install completed and done for you. For the residents that still have not responded to us, everybody in the room here, I believe, has made their appointment or said no to us. So thank you very much. Everybody that attends these meetings always gets the information and everything is done properly. It's the people that don't come to it. So for the 50 outstanding people, Hotwire is starting, I believe, on Friday to walk around, knock on their door directly, and they're leaving information for the residents to say, hey, this is your last chance, please contact us. If you guys have any questions or have any issues with Hotwire, please go and see Adam in Delta 218. He is sitting inside of the room waiting for your questions, waiting to see if you need anything scheduled, and if you need more help with anything else, he's more than happy to be able to help you guys out. I'm always here for any of your questions. If you need me to help you with anything, I'm more than happy to help with that as well. But for direct Hotwire related issues, please go and visit Adam. He's sitting inside of the room physically and he's there for you. I've also been given a concierge portal that was started up yesterday, I believe it was. I'm going to be sitting down with Desiree and Sandy, so if you guys have any other issues and you don't feel you're getting them addressed, they have a direct line into Hotwire. They'll be submitting tickets for you guys on your behalf, and they'll be able to follow up on them for you. All right? This is going to be the end of my presentation. If you have any questions for me, I'll be happy to answer it for you after this is all done. But again,
thank you very much for everybody for getting all your info into Hotwire and helping them get it done. I'm getting extremely good feedback from everybody who's actually gone through the experience. Not only are the installers extremely polite, but they are very informative. And if there is something you missed, they do come back and they help you out very much. All right? I think that's it for me, so I'm all done. Thank you.
No question, but I need everybody to know that Adam was knocking on the doors at 5 o'clock last night in Building C.
5 o'clock last night in Building D, he was knocking on the doors. All right? You know, the service side of it really has been very good. And frankly speaking, the quality of the product is head and shoulders, legs, bodies, whatever above what we've had. I just want to touch on one thing before we close out. And one of the reasons why it has been so far so successful as far as transitioning Hotwire, part of it is obviously Hotwire and their professionalism and their experience. But a big part is right here, Sean. The amount of coordination and, you know, and that's weekends, that's in the evening and everything. So thank you very much, all right? We appreciate it. But Sam has one thing to say.
When they come to your unit, if they haven't been there yet, remember you have more than a TV. If you have other items, sound bars, you have printers, make sure they also hook them up.
Fix your bandage. All right, so with that, you are now released to go do what you like to do. We'll be around afterwards. Thank you very much, everybody. Appreciate